Hey campers, George here, back in the man cave. What? You know what that means, right? I got me a new prize. And guess what? It's another sharp and shiny one. Yep, BPS Knives. I saw this online and I thought I gotta get this because I'm pretty excited about it. It's the BPS Knives B1CS. It's their Bushcraft guy. And it's based on the Ray Mears Bushlore from Condor. Let's check it out together. And I gotta tell you, I'm impressed with these guys. In fact, I own a couple of them. There's a couple hanging up there and a couple in my packs. I just like to carry them around. For the price, you can't beat them with one of my big sticks. These guys. So here it is here. It comes in a nice plain box, nothing special. It's got their logo on it, which is BPS Knives. And these guys are in the Ukraine. You can see it says made in the Ukraine. This one, like I said, is the B1CS knife. Now I got to tell you, the way they label their stuff, I never know how they come up with the model number. It kind of confuses me. But this time, I know I got it right. It comes in the package, nice and plain, nothing special. It is sealed, and I think that's to do with international stuff. It does come with a sheath, and here is the beauty right here. Let's check it out. I'm excited about this guy. One of the reasons is they say they designed it based on the Condor Bushlore. And you know me, I own one. And this is the guy I like to use. And this is the Condor Bushlore. I did not know this, but it was designed by Ray Mears. I've watched a lot of his stuff online, a lot of knowledge. And if you haven't seen him, you need to check him out. I'll put a link in the description below. Back to the knife. Let's check it out. Here it is. Comes in the thing. Got a little protection here because why? George needs it. You know me. If it's not protected, I'll cut me or something. Oh yeah. Look at that. Look at that. It does. It looks just like a Bushlore, doesn't it? I love this blade shape. And on the blade it says BPS Knives Carbon Steel. You can see the label there just. And you see how sharp this is? It never looks like carbon steel, does it? But I think they put a lot of nickel in this. I like their handles. Their handles are not fancy. They're very plain and straightforward. And they work for me. And you know me and my grubby. Their knives just really fit well in my hand. Which is another reason I like them. If you're looking for a good knife, whether it's a camp knife, a bushcraft knife, whatever, they have a couple of different kinds, and you really need to look them up and have a look-see and maybe give them a try. You can't beat the price they have. The quality you're getting from them, really good. And seeing as I'm now a proud owner of a lot of their knives, I decided to look them up and find out just who these BPS knife guys are. When I went onto the website, oh, here's the sheath. Let's have a look at the sheath. Most of my sheaths I've got from them are the darker leather. This is a lighter one. And, you know, it has the sling on it here, and you have the belt loop. So you have the option, put it on your belt, nice and tight against you, or hang it. So I do like this hanging thing because when you sit, you move around, it gives you a lot of freedom. It tends to stay upright, and they're good quality. They really are made well. Their stitching is really nice. There's a nice label on there. I don't know if you can see that. Their knives fit in there really well. You can see nice and tight. No problem there. It's not going anywhere. Doesn't rattle, nothing. Really nice. I like the way they do their stuff. It is very similar to the Bushlore. In fact, I'll just hold them up here. Here is the Condor Bushlore, and here is their knife. And you can see pretty similar. Maybe a little bit smaller. The blade is slightly different. This has a longer, deeper down point on it there, and if you can see that. Their handle is a little bit smaller. It's not quite as wide and bulky as the Bushlore. I love this Bushlore, and I'm excited to own this guy and to see how well this does and see if it's as good as the Bushlore. This is carbon steel. I'm not sure, but I believe it's 1066. According to their website here, the B1CS knife is designed and based on the Ray Mears Bushlore knife. It's strong, reliable, comfortable, they're quite open about where they got this design from. The blade is a 1066 carbon steel, and it's hardened to 5759 HRC. The thing that you have to remember, when you use carbon steel, it'll rust. And that means just keeping it oiled and cleaned and look after it, no problem there. Now, everybody knows about carbon steel, but the hardened thing, and they're saying here, it's a 5759. The 5759 range means this. It's a good steel, and it's good for all-round knife blades. Now, when they harden it like that, what happens is a lot of steel becomes brittle. But this range here makes it less brittle, and unfortunately, it doesn't hold its edge as long as a higher number would. But it's not a problem because it's real easy to sharpen. A couple of swipes on it and you're back to a nice edge again. It's a nice middle of the road for the price, very good. You can't beat that for their price. And they really clean it up nicely. It comes from the factory sharp, I will tell you that. I've learned that the hard way. The grind on it is a Scandi grind. So that's normal with a Bushlore, I believe, is exactly the same thing. And it's a nice, sharp Scandi grind. You can't go wrong with Scandi. Being a bushcraft type knife, it has that spear point on it there, which allows you to do certain tasks in bushcrafting. The handle is walnut, and they use a Danish oil, they say, to oil it and to preserve it. So that's something else to keep in mind. When you own a knife like this, that's carbon steel with a wood handle, it takes a little bit of maintenance. You need to look after it. It's not stainless steel where, if you don't clean it, it's not a big deal. The handle, wood, you want to maintain that. You don't want it drying out. It will crack if it does that. So a good thing is keep it oiled. Obviously, when it comes from the factory, they've given it a good oiling. So about once, maybe twice a year, I think you need to maintain it. I use boiled linseed oil. I just put it on the handle, wipe it on there, let it soak in, and that normally does the trick. Actually, speaking of trick, when you put that oil in, you want to put enough on until it looks like it's stopped soaking in. Then you leave it, wipe off the excess, and just leave it to dry, and you're good to go again. It does have a lanyard hole in here. You can see that. There's no ferrule or anything in it. It's just straight through the wood and through the tang of the blade. One thing they do say about the handle, and I like their handles. They're all pretty much the same, the way they do their handles. And like I said before, they work well for me, is you can unscrew these and take the wood off and clean it up and do whatever you want. Or if you're a little bit more adventurous than that, you can put your own handle on it, make your own handle and do that. Speaking of which, I went to their website and read up about them, and it's a nice website, very plain, very easy to look at, and showed all their knives and everything they do. Now, they do make other knives and things like that, but one of the things they do offer on their website is a blank, a blade blank, and you can put your own handle on, which I thought was a nice touch. Right, then let's see what the dimensions are on this thing. They say the total length, 9.25 inches. The blade length, 4.33 inches. Very typical. That's about the right length for a bushcraft knife. To the Condor Bushlore, it's about the same. And actually, when you look at it there, you can see the difference in the blades. It's not much, but it's enough. It's a little bit thinner right there. The Bushlore comes out still solid and then dives in. This one is a more easy slope down, if you can see what I'm saying. The handle length, let's see, 4.9 inches. I got to remember that, because when I look at knives from now on, I'm going to be using this as the basis for me. The weight without the sheath, they say, is 5.64 ounces. Not bad. Not bad. It's got a bit of weight to it. The blade is not thin. Nice that. It does come with oil on the blade, so let me wipe that off quickly so you can have a real look at it. If you're not planning on using it for a while, you might want to leave that oil on. If you're going to store it, you can see, look how shiny that is. It amazes me how well they do that. One thing that I always liked about these guys is this edge here. Right on the ridge, it is a true 90, and it'll strike a ferro rod, no problem. Their blades are sturdy, like I said. How much did I pay for it? That much. Like I said, Big stick and all, you can't beat that price for the quality you get. And I wanted to find out a little bit more about BPS Knives and who are these guys, because they certainly got my attention. So this is what I found out. If you go on their website, you can read about them. And what they say is that, it's just a family that wanted to make themselves a knife that they would like that they could use. So they basically were in their garage making these knives and just using general tools to do it, and discovered that people liked them and the cost and everything, people were interested in them. So they became a professional business. And that's how they started. So family-owned operation still is. They are quite open about where they get their designs from. For example, this knife is based on the Bushlore. It's almost exactly the same. They do make some kitchen knives, just a couple of them, not very much. And then they have the accessories. So typically things like sheaths and just a plain blank blade. And, you can make your own handle. And, they send you the screws that you can use to hold it in and everything like that. So they do a good job. I doubt if they do custom. I'm sure it would be locally if they're doing custom. Anyway, BPS Knives, they're out of the Ukraine, family owned. They don't have a wide range of knives. It's all fixed blade. And if you go through them, a lot of them look familiar. You'll have a look and you can see how easy it is to recognize one of their knives. Pretty sure, if I put a knife down in front of you, oh, that's a BPS. I can do that now. Here's one of theirs here. Look at that. And they all have that familiar look. It has that look. Same with these guys. And you can see what I mean. Typically, it's in the shape of the handle, and the blades are a dead giveaway. They're so shiny, they look like stainless steel, but they're carbon. Now that we've had a look at this guy, and we've talked about it a bit, we need to go play. Let's go walkabout. There's a local trail around here that maybe we'll find a piece of wood or something and we can give it a good quick test. Let's go.
So there you go, campers. Did the job for me. Everything I needed for, it worked. What can I say? BPS Knives. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure I'll be back again soon. Maybe another sharp and shiny thing. Just saying. Thanks for watching, and you be safe out there. Bye.